It is Wednesday, my dude. Good morning. How are you? How are you? Pleasure to see you. I hope your day is going great. Everything for me, in a literal sense, is going great. CC has so many medications now because we got her back from the vet after she was there for 5 or 6 hours yesterday, getting all manner of scan and x-ray and blood sample and all this stuff. We're still waiting some days for the sample, but her heartworm is much worse than we thought, but she's still okay. She's not advanced or anything. We have a bunch of creams to rub on the dog. There's various infections that she's got. We've got to squirt stuff in the ears. Really great. So we're very happy to have a happy, healthy doggo. So that's good. And a lot of other things are good. I'm excited about the championships this weekend. Home life's great. You're great. You are so amazing to me. But my God, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I woke up and my cat was like, meow. And I was like, oh, fuck off with that bullshit. Ugh. And I sat down to open my email, and there was no new email today. That never happens. No new email in the slightest. I don't know how it happened, so I looked, and I was like, all right, I have nothing I need to get done this morning. I had to go get my dry cleaning, which was fine. And there was a dog that was there that was happy to see me because I go to the dry cleaner with some frequency because I'm a working professional who has to have dry cleaning done. And everything's good, but I'm fucking so annoyed. I did not sleep well at all. I don't know if you ever have these, by the way, we're playing Magic today. I don't know if you ever have this happen, but in your dreams, do you ever have death with respawn? This is a really common theme in all of my nightmares and has been for, 25 years? Ever since... Yeah, no, there's the monster that chases you, and I hear other people tell monster stories where the monster gets to you, and goes, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, it was all a dream. For me, I die and I respawn in the dream again. It's fucking terrible. It fucking sucks. So I loop through that a little bit, and then I wake up, and I know it's a dream. I wake up, and I don't even start. I just open my eyes, and I'm like, that was awful. So that happened around 5:30 today. But I think it was sort of like the compounding of like stress that my dog... Okay, let me tell you about this trip to the vet. So we adopted CC about 10, 11 days ago. Whatever the Saturday that's closest to 10 days ago, right? And there's not a lot of information about this doggy because this doggy was rescued from a high-kill shelter in Tennessee, of all places. So a group bought the dog, shipped the dog out here. We saw the dog up for adoption. We just said, that's a dog, and we got the little CC sweetheart. And made a vet appointment with a nearby vet. Russian says, what's a high-kill shelter? It is apparently in the Midwest, there's just a huge glut of like stray dogs that wind up just getting sort of rounded up by animal control and put in shelters where a low percentage of them actually wind up getting adopted and most of them get put down. So we were like, we want to get a rescue dog, and we wanted to do that because we like the idea. There's a little doggy out there. We want to make sure that little sweet doggy gets a nice happy home. And Britt and I like taking care of little tiny furry things, so we adopted this dog. We made a vet appointment, right? And the vet appointment was this Tuesday, right? Which is yesterday. So on Tuesday morning, go to drop off the dog. And because there's literally a pandemic, the vet doesn't let you inside. So what happens is you get there and you call them and someone comes out and greets you and you do sort of like paperwork on the sidewalk. And it's like in a strip mall area, so there's like an Indian restaurant right next to it and shit, so there's like people getting takeout and you're like signing forms and passing off a doggy. And they take the dog in, and then like you just wait in the car. It's like 30, 45 minutes pass, and they say to Britt, because I wasn't there, I was busy, getting ready to stream. They let her know that the dog is going to need to be there for several hours to get all the tests done. So we're like, all right. So then I stream, and so I just know, that's the last thing I heard, is that there appears to be a lot of issues with the dog. And then it's time to go live. So we talked about that a little bit yesterday. And then the internet was lagging yesterday, so it's like... So, because my internet, well, it's not that my internet was actually working great. There was something going wrong with my connection to Twitch, causing lag and shit. So, come back here. So I was unable to really finish the show. So I was like, all right, well, that sucks to not be able to work today, but that's okay because I'm going to go get my little doggy. So we go to the dog place, the vet, call the vet, and they say, all right, we'll be out in a few minutes with your dog. And we're like, okay, we're waiting. And someone comes out and goes, are you CC's parents? We go, yes. And they go, please come inside. And we're like, oh, fuck, our dog's dead. The dog is definitely dead. So we go inside and they say, please go into waiting room 1. We go into this room and there's just x-rays very clearly of our dog. Now, when you are brought inside of the vet clinic that specifically has noted a protocol to make sure that no one enters the vet clinic, I assume the worst. And now I have x-rays. I don't know if you know this, but I am not a qualified medical professional. So what I do is I get out my phone and I start looking up sick dog x-ray. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm looking at that picture. I'm like, yeah, our dog's definitely, like, the heart's, it's turned off. The heart got turned off. So, that's what's happening. I don't know. The lungs look spidery. And then after waiting there for another little bit of time, finally, the vet comes in. The waiting was excruciating because there's all these posters on the wall of ways you can accidentally kill your dog. Feed your dog peanut butter? Careful. Xylitol is toxic to dogs. And I'm like, we feed our dog peanut butter. And I'm looking at, like, Jif, peanut butter, xylitol. It's like, Jif does not have xylitol. I'm like, whew. There's another one about fleas and flea infestations. And it's like, if you have a flea in your house, it's already too late. There's likely thousands of eggs. Buy our product. It will prevent your dog from getting fleas and shit. And I'm just like, oh my god. And then it has a poster of a woman snuggling a cat here and snuggling a dog here, and emitting out of the animals is like a balloon of parasites that can infect each of the respective species. So now I'm getting worried about my fucking cats too. Vet comes in and just starts going, are you the owners of CC? And we go, yes. And what she does is she knocks on wood. I shit you not. That's the first thing she does. And, like, I'm so malfunctioning at this point. I'm like, hello? Right? I'm just, come in. I'm like, can't handle this. And she then starts to rattle off everything that's wrong with our dog. The dog, I think, is going to be okay. The dog has not terminal or advanced heartworm, or even very severe, just moderate. And now I have to make sure that my dog's urine doesn't have blood in it. So, like, we go out, I turn on my phone flashlight, and I'm like, all right, it's looking clear. We got a tote bag of medicine because she has, like, parasites and an ear infection, a skin infection, and bad heartworm, and she has pressure on a heart valve. So they're like, do not get the dog excited under any circumstance at all. And we're like, okay, very well. We were thinking about maybe getting her a trainer because we have cats. We want to make sure that we can have the dog trained to be able to interact with the cats. Should we delay that? And she goes, yeah, you might want to wait a few months on that. And I'm like, stop fucking knocking on wood. Stop it. Put your knuckles down. Like, I was just so fucking, like, I don't know. Who's this person? I mean, it's like me with air quotes. I hate that I do air quotes, but it's, like, involuntary. And this fucking woman who's a vet is just keeps knocking on wood in front of the pet owners. She was actually an amazing doctor. She explained everything. She was incredibly reassuring. But here's the thing. You'll note in the story, I didn't tell you anything about the reassuring things she said. What I did is I zoomed straight in on these two things forming a uh-oh, where's it going now? Ka-thunk, ka-thunk. And that's what my brain ran away with it, is that Jif peanut butter is okay to serve to a dog. Dog's gonna be fine, knock on wood, right? Like, that's what I gleaned, so... Hero Dust says, air quotes don't have the same ominous quality as knocking on wood. Yeah, we're gonna be live tomorrow. See, I did it. I fixed it. So that was a lot of stress. It was a lot of stress, and so now, like, today we gotta filter the dog's ears out with shit, and we gotta, like, give the dog, like, a bath and, like, scrub her up, and she has to just sit there and soak for 10 minutes. So she's just gonna Yeah, good lord, did you say about the pressure on your heart? My goodness. Yeah, no, apparently I'm not allowed to get excited or go on walks longer than 10 minutes, Grima, because we really have to be careful about my heart. It really can't take that much. So, and then I went to use the restroom last night, and Sheriff, who is a fucking idiot, my cat Sheriff, bolts out at 5 a.m. I've just awoken from a nightmare where I have been respawning in the nightmare, getting killed by the same monster again and again and again. I woke up, all right, let's just go to the bathroom and then grind Twitter until we're tired again, right? So I open the door and Sheriff runs out and Cece's like, oh, something to kill. And Sheriff literally is risking her life to be able to, and I shit you not, to be able to go to the front door and meow because she wants to go out into the hallway and play. She is risking her life for like a 30-second totter down the carpet. Why? Why is this cat such... And so I'm just like, no! And Britt wakes up because Britt has immediately assumed that both the dog and the cat are dead, that the dog ate the cat and then the dog's heartworm killed her, right? So Britt comes out and she like retrieves Sheriff and Sheriff's like, bro, and like rubbing against Britt's face like an idiot. And the dog, I'm like fucking holding the dog and the dog's little tail's wagging. She's like, I don't think that our dog wants to eat our cat. I don't think. But it's likely. So, you know, I'm scared, and then finally, okay, all right, oh my God. Oh. So I woke up today, and now I'm going to play Magic. But what I did this morning is I went to the coffee shop, and I spent, not the coffee shop, excuse me, the donut shop, and I spent all of my remaining money on coffee and all of their chocolate twists. I said, how much is a chocolate twist? And she said something, and I just said, give me all of them. She says, how many? And I said, all. She's like, so you want 3 of them? I was like, I want all 3 twists. And then I ate 2, and then I got in my car. Still got one in the back room. So, you know. So, yeah, I'll be checking for blood in my urine later today to make sure I'm healthy, too. My God, you know, it's kind of funny. I have such an overdeveloped compartmentalization muscle from streaming because, you know, I mean, like, this is the life of a streamer where it's like your grandmother's in hospice care and will certainly die in the next 5 days. And I'm like, all right, live in 3, 2, 1. Hey! Remember to like and subscribe. Let's do something fun today in the game. And so now that you've given me the wonderful opportunity to just vent about what's gone on in the last 24 hours, I'm realizing that actually was quite stressful. Ugh. Let's talk about what we're doing today, yeah? And this is the thing, is that, like, if there's one lesson I've learned, it's that if you want support or want something from someone, wrapping it up in humor is an incredibly effective way to receive something, because I'm also giving something, you know what I mean? If the story is entertaining, it has compelling twists and turns and makes you laugh. There you go, that's how we do it. Now, before I go into this deck, what are we doing today? What is the gist of it? Thursday, tomorrow, I am not streaming because I am at rehearsal for what I'm doing on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Zendikar Championships, where there's a shit buttload of players who will be playing in... shit buttload? What? Well, there's going to be some players playing in the championship that involves both Standard and Historique. You see me be playing a lot of Standard. I much prefer that format to Historic. I don't know why, I just like it. But I like to dabble in Historic every now and again. So we're going to play some of the top meta decks as is listed on MTG Goldfish. I don't have a sense of what the players are playing yet. It's possible that as part of the event preparation, I have been sent that information. I haven't opened any of that shit up. I'm waiting until after the show today to become an educated caster. So we're going to be playing what's listed on MTG Goldfish. And of course, in a display of support, some of our regular gifters, Saint Lovejoy has gifted 5 for a total of 50 subs. Grimma77 has gifted 10 for a total of 140. And Buttheim Stombo has gifted 5 for a total of 75. Thank you, Grimma, Buttheim Stombo, and Saint Lovejoy for supporting me and my dog stress storytelling habits. And Renuner has gifted 10. No. Renuner. Thanks, Renuner. Total Human Theses are the deck lists not available before the tournament, even to the players. Typically what happens is players submit their deck lists, and then very shortly before gameplay, the deck lists are publicly available. Renuner, whose name is the same forward as it is backward. Palindromic. So let's take a peek at this list. This list, let me put this fellow aside. This list is using the blue-green Simic All-Stars of Uro, Nissa, and Hydroid Krasis to basically just win the game. These are the 3 things to win. Uro is extremely good because it ramps, heals, and draws. Excuse me. Nissa is very good because she ramps, smashes with haste, speed, and doesn't draw. She's just really good. Hydroid Krasis is a flampler that draws. Very, very strong. Now, the rest of the deck is really tapping into black for a couple of the really good recent black cards, namely Thoughtseize. Lets you look on turn 1, but the recent edition of Fatal Push is just so strong. Lets you, at instant speed, pick off a baby. The Revolt one, destroy that creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less. Instead, if permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn. So this would be relevant if, for instance, I played Uro, it went to the graveyard, and then I can Fatal Push. Right? It sort of perfectly combos. We also have Fabled Passage, which is another permanent that goes to the graveyard that enables this. Very, very significant when we have things like Growth Spiral, Essence Scatter, Aether Gust, things that we're going to be casting early almost anyways. All of these are going to go into the graveyard to help turn Uro on even sooner. So, the reason that this is called 4-color midrange is, first of all, the Sultai midrange package of Nissa, Uro, and Hydroid Krasis, you actually wind up really starting to shit on people around turn 6-7. You can really go under a lot of control decks. But Yasharn, Implaceable Earth, has turned out to be an absolute all-star for dealing with one of the other most popular decks, which I'm not going to play today because it's too difficult. That is the Jund Sacrifice deck. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. I just realized a funny combo. If you look up Terror of the Peaks, spells your opponent casts that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. Players can't pay life sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. You can make Terror of the Peaks unremovable. Yeah, I do think that this is pronounced Implacable Earth, but I like Implaceable Earth. I just like saying that. I mispronounce a pretty substantial number of words because I like the way to pronounce them the way I'm saying it. Like Azure. It's actually pronounced Azure, with an emphasis on the second syllable. And the A not pronounced like A, but I like Azure Drake because it just sounds good. So really, it's just control the enemy. Some of the interesting bits, Mythos of Nethroi. This lets you kill a creature or any non-land permanent. Very good for Planeswalker removal. Extinction Event, a lot of people like to run Languish, but I suppose that this does make the mana a little bit easier to work with because it's only 1 black. So I'm not going to really touch it. It appears I have removed something. Ah, that's what I did. I accidentally put a Yasharn into the sideboard. Alright, so in the sideboard it's just, you know, usual shit. Yeah, see, look, let me look up Aether really fast. Did I tweet that I was going live? Aether. This is actually pronounced
Azure.
Azure. I thought it was an emphasis on the second syllable. Am I wrong? Azure Drake.
Azure.
I feel like Azure is also fine. I care oh so oodly much about pronunciations. Oh, I didn't tweet. Look at that shit. No, I did tweet. It's right there, isn't it? Yeah, I tweeted. Perfect. Waisha RJ. I'm gonna go first, man. I'm dishing the Hydroid Krasis. What does azure even mean? It's a color of blue. See, let's see how Azure Pro. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Azure is a type of cloud computing service offered by Microsoft.
Azure.
It's like saying Azure Drake. Yeah, no, it looks like it is the emphasis on the first syllable. Fuck is going on in this game? Today. Hey, I actually had a question for y'all. I like learning conventions for stuff. Crate says, oh no, questions, my only weakness. Yeah. So, I'm really interested in learning more about various project management techniques. Because I've used plenty of project management software type things from like Trello, which, by the way, when I say project management, I mean a program where I can be like, all right, guys, we're working on a card game. And so we have the tasks for this week is we want to make 10 cards. So I, a designer, might write out specs for each of these 10 different cards, and then a programmer can go into the project management software and see, code up this card, code up this card, code up this card, code up this card. And then when they finish, they submit in the project management software that they finished it, which then pings me, the designer, to actually play with it and see if it was implemented correctly. Stuff like that I've used a good amount. Excuse me. I found a good amount of use, especially for me with my own projects. They're very useful for me, reminding me of what the hell was going on. Like, for instance, when I was using, or when I was doing a lot of machine learning coding, you know, like building out little custom neural net behavior, and I had digital farmers trying to learn to milk digital cows and plant digital crops and optimize that problem. It was a wonderful learning experience, but sometimes I would work on it over a weekend, and then say it was something like this week where I have an event Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I can't touch my software. And then I come back, I'm tired, so I kind of like rest on Monday, but still do a Monday night show, and then Tuesday, Wednesday happen. And on Thursday morning, I'm like, I kind of want to revisit that. What the fuck was I doing? And I hop in, and because in GitHub, you know, I can use issues or something like this to track what all the various tasks that need to get done are and sort of where I'm at. It's a nice reminder of, right, cool, this is perfect. And so I'm thinking of this. Huzzah. I'm thinking about this right now because we brought up the word Azure, which is not pronounced Azure. It's Azure. Azure. Microsoft's cloud computing stuff, they have a project management thing called Azure DevOps. So a lot of these project management things, where again you can record tasks, you can tag them, if you have bugs, you can add them to this, so then they get sorted out for other people to work on, things like this. I'm wondering if any of you who've used project management software have any tips. Leos Klein says your interest with managing one person or many. With many. Because, for instance, yeah, Jira is another example, all that stuff. Because, like, for instance, we're working on Gauntlet 2.0. And we're using a Trello board. Very straightforward. But the thing that I'm specifically very interested in is I'm specifically interested oh, fuck you. Specifically interested in good advice for using a lot of the common components that exist. That one, please. There's things like tags. There's things like... we get rid of this one, certainly, right? There's things like tags. There's the sort of feature... There's the epic feature, user story, task sort of thing. And what do I want to do here? So I can Mythos of Nethroi here. That actually seems probably like the thing to do. Because we're up against a Sultai deck. Yeah, sure. We're up against a Sultai deck. I think maybe I miscounted. I think maybe I was... Yeah, that's fine. We're up against a Sultai list, which pretty much doesn't really have that many creatures. But now that I've done that, I'm remembering that Mythos of Nethroi can actually kill their Nissa, which probably would have been good. Hello, my name is Sean. I used to have a hand, and I do no longer. I think I actually do want to play the Indatha Triome, because getting to 5 is pretty important. Zoinks. Why does this keep happening? What is this bug? This client says, my experience is that it usually doesn't matter which piece of software is being used, as long as everyone on the team understands the principles being applied and how to use the tools. Yeah. I'm gonna do this main phase to see if I can get anything cool. I did. It was very cool. Because, like, here's an example. Let's say that we're working on making a card game together. And one person is, let's say, implementing the menu and the UI elements, and another person is implementing cards. One way to have things be able to properly reference each other... I don't even know what mana type I want. I'm just going to get something blue. One way to reference everything is via tags. Perfect. But I've heard some people say, instead of using tags, make the title have, in all caps, the category initially. You know, so for instance, it would be like UI-UI task. UI-next UI task. Things like this. And maybe a more appropriate question for me is there a place that I can go to learn techniques and conventions and stuff like this? Because, you know, and let me do a little bit of a ham-fisted example to clarify what I mean. In the game StarCraft, and in many RTS games, you can assign... That's literally all of the Thoughtseizes. That is actually so funny. My opponent is down to 3 from having Thoughtseize themselves so much. Alright. In StarCraft, you can assign units to various numbers. So, for instance, if I wanted to have my harassment unit as 1, or if I wanted to have my spellcasters as 1, and then my non-spellcasters as 2, or if I wanted to have my command center as 5. So, you can assign any number to anything, but it would be weird, for instance, to say all my units are going to be even and all my buildings are going to be odd. For instance, in Brood War, like a convention, just a common convention that people would use, is they would use 1, 2, 3, 4 as units, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as buildings, and then 0 and 9 as some rarely used tech thing. So, for instance, 0 might be a forge, or 0 might be a scanner sweeper. So you can hit 0 and scan to be able to see stuff that's going on. Let's see here. What do we want to do? I feel like the Extinction Events and the Asharns don't really matter very much here. We're not preventing any sacrifices. I think that Narset seems excellent, yeah? Negate and Aether Gust seem excellent. Do I want more Fatal Pushes? I think 2 and 2 is probably pretty good. I want to have good ways to deal with the Nissa. And so, for instance, in StarCraft, that's what I would do. I would do 1, 2, 3, 4 as units, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 as my hatcheries. But then I would use other conventions, like I would have hatchery clusters. So I would have it like 9, and control group 9, there would be a hatch and 3 other hatches by it. So I'd go 9, 9, box select, hit Z to make Zerglings. 0, 0, box select Z, hit things like that. And so what I'm interested in is going to a place that can help teach me conventions for project management software, because I've used it for, like, me and Eric and, like, various other small things, so I'm sort of been in, like, a little bubble. And I think it could be cool to just learn other things that people have done, because I've pretty much just been doing oh, these need to get cut. These need to get cut. That's the one that I missed on. It's not very valuable. What's the white mana for? Yasharn. And so the reason I'm comparing it to hotkeys in StarCraft is that a lot of people will say, yeah, just do whatever hotkey setup works best for you. Fart and fuck. My poor sweet Narset. Why would you run that? I don't feel like that would be valuable at all. I think that's incorrect to run. Maybe my opponent thought that they would be able to... Yeah, I guess they're assuming I'm pulling out all my creature removal, it seems. That's superb. So yeah, I'm just interested in learning more. Long story short, I'm interested in learning more. All right. Incorrect. That was, yeah, never mind. That was actually like fucking like really good and shit. Green, green, blue, blue, blue. Okay. Very, very cool. What is happening? What is going on? Do I have to drag it over them? Okay. Well, I mean, I have to do this. Clients have generally experienced there being no standards that govern these conventions, just whatever was agreed on by the organization. I like this topic. Now I'm excited. Yeah, I'm so fascinated by this. Like, I think I'd make you a mistakey. Oh, this is rough. This is rough. I think I accept the damage once. Because I want to be able to remove Villain's Uro. Couldn't we have fatal, Stan Sass questions, couldn't we have fatal push the Gargaroth? His passage was cracked. Its converted mana costs 4 less, and Gargaroth is 5. So, unfortunately not. Which, totally sucks dicks, for sure. Hello.
There are so many mysteries to meditate and prepare.
Oops. This is good because if the board is empty, to the bottom with you. If this is not threatened, then this means that if my opponent plays Hydroid Krasis or plays Uro, or plays any of the draws, it just gets shut down by our Wobbler. Demon Gund, who has... Actually, I think Demon Gund joined us today.
Shelter in my stewardship.
Demon Gund, are there any, like, resources, be it like book, video, tutorial. Okay, well this is relatively easy. Target this, right? Terrific. Right? Still can't deal with the Hydroid Krasis. Because here's the thing that I find, Jira has a whole academy for this kind of thing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Because I'm trying to think, like, here's how I would describe it, right? Here's how I would describe what I think about phrases like, it depends, broadly speaking.
I have just the trick.
Very good. Superb, actually. What is going on? Look at this. I'm moving around. What is happening in this game? There's some insane bugs. Arena has actually gotten buggier and buggier and buggier and buggier. So we can have the Narset that we can... this is not drawing any cards. I think we get the Aether Gust. This prevents any fuckery from occurring. Because, okay, let's take a moment to think about how people come up with rules of thumb or statements, right, that they abide by. They encountered situation A and B and C and D and E. They saw a pattern, and out of these 5 situations, bleh, a rule emerged. Things like, in Magic, you generally want to build the board instead of strictly trying... Keep this one. Strictly trying to remove. You generally want to build the board instead of strictly trying to remove.
Do not test me.
Oh, I fucked that up so bad. I just completely miscounted. Alright, my opponent fucked this up so bad.
I wish to hone your prowess.
Because what my opponent could have done is actually summoned a thing, swung, killed this, and then had a billion mana for the Hydroid Krasis. Which is not actually what happened, which is fucking great. But yeah, like you might have a rule of thumb in Magic, like try to build the board before you try to remove elements from the other person's board. So if they have a creature, instead of deleting it, play your creature first, and then play a second creature. My opponent is
The land fights for us.
doing some stuff for sure. All right. And so a lot of times what will happen is that you'll hear some rules of thumb that for project management might be like, try to make sure that you account for flexibility in this particular way. But the reason that rule emerged is from these 5 instances where the pattern was when we didn't allow for flexibility, bad things happen. And that's kind of what I'm interested in. I'm interested in seeing the first class evidence, you know? I'm interested in learning about those first-class evidences, and that sort of thing. So whenever someone says, it depends, I'm like, what does it depend upon? Essence Scatter is out of there. Alright, let's take lessons from the opponent. Go to the Agile Manifest. I'll check that out. Because I know that Agile is a lot about, these are the principles that we are going to use in order to discover things. Haha. What is that, rhythmic tapping? Let me shut my door, because that's veggies getting chopped for the crock pot, baby. No problem. Teamwork. Thoughtseize Tribal. I main phase everything! Woohoo! Submit one, enter step, yeah! Emerance, the software engineering project management is a complex subject. No one agrees. There are even a lot of people that say Agile is obsolete. Yeah, no, I mean, that stuff is fascinating to me, man. Alright, we want to crack this second, because what I want to do is I want to play Uro in hopes that I hit a land, and if I Fabled Passage, there's less land in there. Shit. Still don't want to crack it. Yeah, and there was a comment, I don't remember who wrote this, that was really super hitting the nail on the head for me, that I just found, like, utterly fascinating, right? By the way, I'm going to try something. I'm just going to smash this and see what happens. I don't have enough research boarding in an Elder Gargaroth in this matchup or whatever. Someone said many project management tools provide way, way, way more features than any project would ever need. And the idea is that a good project manager looks at all these tools that are provided by the project management software, and they pick these 3 and discard these 45. Because these 3 together are really nice. Maybe we can add in another thing later. Ah, yes, very cool. I would like to draw a card. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Again, I don't want to crack this first, because I would rather have some availability to... I want to get more land. So, now that I've done this... But yeah. So I've heard that, like, project management softwares often give you just, like, way more capabilities than anyone would ever need for their particular project. And that's why I'm really interested in, like, just learning more. Like, okay, how do I do that determination? Let's do this first. It looks like we're winning. Demon Gun says, in my experience, I have this rule. The software needed for project managers, developers, and product management have very different needs. Don't force one of those groups to use an ineffective tool. Like Jira is way, way too heavy-handed for project management. That's really interesting. I may as well keep this here because I have the fatal push, you know. Fishio Forces, I missed the very beginning of this conversation. Why are we talking about project management? Because... Nice. Because I've used a variety of different ones for small-scale projects, and I've always just used them in the way that made sense to me. And it worked for our purposes, be it for recreational projects that I'm working on with friends, or even professional dev stuff. AKA all the game bullshit that you see on this stream. You know, like Gauntlet, Straits Danger and shit. Viper, by the way, says, I'm a commercial helicopter and airplane pilot, and every time I come in here and I learn something from you guys, also I feel so dumb. Dude, don't, Viper, BTW. I have an extraordinary amount of respect for pilots, because my grandfather was an aviation he was an engineer that did aviation engineering and then went into sales for Sperry Gyroscope. Gyroscopes, the device that is like large gyroscopes that would be used for like large vehicles to just stabilize them. And it was really interesting. Oh, and he was also a instrument flight trainer in World War II. So he used to have this beautiful clock that he got from Sperry Gyroscope, just a simple small desk clock that had an airplane that was the second clock that would fly in a circle. And one of the things that's kind of funky about something like something that has like a lot of physicality is that there's not a lot to talk about when compared to things that are literally purely thought and discussion based, like Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is a bunch of text. If I do this, to 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 do this, then this happens. Whereas, if you're flying and there's a certain type of, I'm going to make up some bullshit because I don't know how flying works, but like, okay, you want to position your arm like this and notice how much easier it is to control when your arm is in this position for during turbulence or whatever. And you go, oh. Let's get the Sultai colors first. Everybody loves Thoughtseize, baby, now. We still don't know the color of our opponent. We see just a swamp, and a beautiful swamp at that. See the greenies. Alright. I'm going to pay to life here. I think it's worthwhile. Our opponent has shown green. Black and green. Okay. Our opponent's running the same deck as we. Let's see. Okay, so my opponent is running the same colors as I am. There could be anything from removal to... Let's see, we have 2 in the bin. Yeah, I think I am going to main phase this, and I'm going to smash Yasharn down. So, my opponent is approaching 5. 5 is when there's potential to be up against a Nissa who shakes the world. I don't need this. So, in this particular situation, what we could be up against is a Nissa slam jamming down right now. It is not so. Okay, so how many do we have here? I am going to shock this in. I'm not going to play the Fabled Passage, and we're just going to X equals 5. Whoa! X equals 5 this. And my reasoning is that Fatal Push can be really nice in a pinch to pick off an enemy Uro. And so I want to make sure that I have a permanent that I can sack for that reason. Okay. Alright, we essentially just won the game.
In this land, we are all connected.
Oop, I'm doing this in the wrong order. I keep forgetting, if my opponent hasn't played a Nissa, then my opponent could have, like, a removal spell. I mean, that's actually just fucking hilarious. Alright, this is fine. I mean, I just am brain farting a little bit. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I'm gonna crack this now. But yeah, Viper BTW, I mean, you are... If you're a fucking helicopter pilot, I mean, there's so much skill that goes into operating a vehicle of that size, like, properly. Like, the amount of just, like, mental closure you have to keep track of. enough for the Gust. Moo! Viper BTW is honestly like riding a bike. I know that sounds crazy, but it is truly once you get that figured out. Okay, so my opponent, no matter what my opponent declares, I don't give a shit. Odd. Cycling is good not just to be able to get access to more things, but to increase probability of being able to play this hero. Holy hell. Excellento. So they look like a much spell-heavier deck. Let's first cut the things I'm not super positive on. So, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of spells. I'm seeing a Teferi. Could just be the single Teferi, but I do think that these are definitely going to be good. I've liked Elder Gargaroth. It seems thick, solid, and tight. I'm just going to split because I don't know what to do. Darth Roxmus is no hero of Dominaria in your deck. Seems like a historic power card. The card is good, and I think it's completely correct to not be running it in this deck. Because if we look at something like Uro, Hydroid Krasis, and Nissa, they all very clearly work together, right? They're all either putting more land out, giving me access to more mana, spending lots of mana, letting me draw. They're all very similar. You know, this sucks, but I think I did this correct to do. They all sort of work together. Teferi does not really do those things. Oh, this dude is dead as shit, man. Teferi is a sort of card that you want to protect. I'm really good. Teferi is a card that you're more so seeking to protect. This is blue all the way. And so it synergizes better with like lots of counter magic and defensive magic. We're sort of tapping down a lot. So for instance, Teferi doesn't especially do much. You know, like if we're struggling on the board to have a bunch of stuff. Doink. Teferi does not really help us that much alongside the rest of our other cards. This is like the perfect card against this.
I have practiced against many players like this. I have just the
Yeah, no, right after I cast it, I was just like, yay. I was like, oi, oi, fucking yoy.
Hide from the world. You need to take a time out.
Alright, watch concession time. Do this. It enters. Make this untap. Attack with this into this one. Thoughtseize. I think that if I were wanting to run Teferi, I would want to focus a lot more on the white-blue components of it. I'd want to have a lot more counter magic, sweepers, Uro, and Growth Spiral for the splash. Is that my dog? Cece, come here. Come here. Oh, you want the bone. Yep. Mom has the bone. Alright. I'm the parent without the bone right now, so I am the statistically less EV parent to be around. Where's the baby cats? The baby cats are currently in the bedroom. on one of their new cat castles. We got them 2 new cat castles. Sean got a dog. I did. I got a rescue. 4-year-old sweetheart named Cece. Well, her original name was Camilla Raisinnet, which is just a bad name. Like, what are you doing to this dog? Come here, Camilla Raisinnet. No, dog's name is now Cece. Are we not doing phrasing anymore? We never do phrasing on this channel. We have potty humor. Okay. Okay. Alright, so this is Mono Brown. Ooh, we gotta do Mono Brown today. This is an artifact ramp deck in Historic that seeks to swiftly get out things like Ugin and leverage a bunch of cards that are similar to Mind Stone that add colorless or sack to draw a card. The higher level ones like tap for 2 colorless and then sack to draw 2 cards, or tap for 3 colorless, sack to draw 3 cards. So I'm going to get rid of the Mind Stone because what I would rather do is have more ways to prevent card draw and card denial. What's the reason for your Yasharn? Very simple. Jund Sacrifice. Mayhem Devils, Witch's Oven, all that stuff. They just do nothing. Lloydsmith says, honestly, Mindstorm is probably the best to take here, and then types, wow, called it. You got it, Lloydsmith. It's good to see you, Lloydsmith. Lloydsmith, you are one of the regulars here that frequently is typing about precisely what is happening in the present tense. I mean, like, for instance, you know, like Perngo is typing right now about KPIs and various other management styles, because I kicked off that whole discussion about, oh, what are good techniques for project management, blah, blah, blah. But Lloydsmith is always right here. He's always, it's like playing the game with me. Lloydsmith says, I'm here for the content. Okay. Well, this is... Oh, this is the different Ugin. Oh, of course. Oh, of fucking course. Do you want to get white mana? White mana. White mana. Kill this. I'm here for the content, but I love the random discussions too. Nice save, Lloydsmith. Because you could have typed, I'm here for the content, comma, not you fucks. And everyone would have been like, oh. Oh, Lloydsmith. Oh. Why don't you minus? Put that card in and exile the other with a sliver counter. Alright, there we go. Have your Intar planar bacon. No! Oh! Oh, like this. I tap out the black one.
Power surges through these lands. Behold, nature's true power.
Die.
This will not deter me.
I am really, really bummed out to see and hear about all of this. Oh, thank God. I have to get more coffee because I'm exhausted. Alright, I'm sneaking out. I'm doing my day-night backwards shuffle. Whoa!
Your patience is rewarded.
Oh, you're attacking me? That's fine. That's fine. We don't need to worry about that.
Cease the suppression.
Ugh. Something bizarre happened here, and I don't know why. Forsaken Mamament, huh? Okay. Bada. Yeah, dude loves this color stuff. He has mono brown. He's playing a mono brown deck. The dog food that we get the dog, it's like, please use 1 can per 15 pounds. And this dog is 65 or 60 pounds. This is quite some dog. She's a big girl.
Harness the elements.
Ah! Take this and that. Dry food is your dog's friend. Our dog does like dry food. Does like it. Well, let's take a peek in here. Bada. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Can we take a moment to talk about how amazing Flash was in the development of my generation? Flash games. By the way, a Hedron Archive is another of the similar type to Mind Stone. See, tap 2, pay 2, sack to draw 2. Pay 1, sack 1 to draw 1. Flash, I mean, never in the history of anything, in terms of game mods, have I seen stuff that is as amazing and influential as that shit. Fuck you. Woohoo! Stick fighters. Oh yeah, like Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao 3. Oh my god, it's incredible. I'll take this one. Let's get a green out there, man. Let's just send in all the greens.
Rise, my elemental friend.
I mean, I just can't believe how prolific that stuff. Has there ever been anything like Flash since? I can't believe you've done this. Oh, yeah. You have extra mana over here. Right. Bada. Oh, yeah. Awesome news. Very, very tight. Don't buff it. Yeah, I think you're right, Lloyd Smith. We should have saved that fatal push. We're so stupid. I need a blue. Yay, he's back! Yay, alright! Bang. Yeah, if we could have fatally pushed this Crawling Barons back to See You Later Town. Yeah, see, the thing is that, like, Unity is amazing, but it's not as easy as Flash was, man. Yeah, I'll just keep growing. I will seek to keep becoming huge. I mean, I played so many Flash games growing up, and you'd get hooked on Flash games. You know what? I think one of my... Oh, God, there were so many good browser games. Have any of you ever heard of, French... I I don't know what the name of this kind of thing is. It was Glacial Fortress. Easy opening.
Is a journey, not a destination.
The land will not forsake you.
Little did you know.
Silence.
And I'm back. Ooh, ooh, yeah.
I will aid you.
Crawling Baron's gonna like shit on my land count.
Cold nature's true power.
You know what are you gonna do? 1, 2, 3 go in like this. Actually, if I just send 2 in, one gets blocked, the other goes in. I think we're fine. Yeah, like there's I don't remember what the style of game this was called, but it was a game where it would be like, you know, the game's URL /level 1. And what you had to do is to get to the next level, you had to type in game URL / instead of where level 2 would be, it would be like sand dot website, whatever the fuck it was. you had to type in the URL of the next thing and keep going. Well, that's an awfully good one to have. Yeah, I think I'll hang on to that one. But I loved that one where you'd just be like sifting through all these clues trying to find the password to the next level. Because, I mean, it's really abstract, right? It's very different from like a hidden pixel style game. Where, you know, if you're in a room and there's like a lever somewhere in the room, and sometimes it just feels like needle in a haystack. You just look and look and look and look. Oh, I see, it's here. But with those, you actually had to get the exact right, perfect URL name to get to the next level. So many freaking utility lands. I would not run an Ifni or Dreadland. Let's do this correctly, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this guarantees we have the Mythos of Nethroi, yeah. Great. Sure. Alright, I messed that one up. Forgot about the stupid idol. Fuck out of here. Messed that up. Oh wait, this is a non-land permanent anyway, so we couldn't have known what I wanted to do. Oh, we should have blown up Forsaken Monument. Oh, of course. Of course. We really got to give the reins to Lloydsmith here, man. Dude, this mono brown deck is so rad. Brown is the color of ramp. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the borders on artifacts used to be brown. Alright, I'm going to concede. Didn't look the best for us. Okay, Aether Gusts, get out. Fatal Push, welcome. Extinction Events probably seem bad. Yasharns. I think we want Yasharn in there, right? The negates are pretty good. Choke them out, huh? Oh, Essence Scatters, get the hell out. Get the hell out. Go on! Gargletooth. Great. Great! I kind of think that maybe Narset's wrong, but maybe Narset's great. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, dude, Flash games were so amazing. Remember N? That became N+? Remember Meat Boy? That then turned into Super Meat Boy? Ficas's Mono Brown's best matchup is Sultai, which is a crazy thing to say. Yeah, it seems like it will be very, very strong against us. Because the deck can ramp to the variety of the Ugins very, very quickly and just go 1-for-1 against us very, very effectively. Oh, that sound effect was terrific. Did you know that N and N+ were developed by the same people that did Oxygen Not Included, Don't Starve, Mark of the Ninja, and most recently Griftlands? Play entertainment. Alright, let's take a peek here. Wait. No, I still can't do it. Shit. Oh, I can't even pay for it. Alright, cool. I discovered the right play then. Very big, very ramps. This is exactly what we want to get the hell out of there, huh?
My prowess is unmatched by my peers.
We don't want to minus Narset, because then Karn the Great Creator can come down, turn this into a 4/4, and kill Narset. Or I guess that can do that anyways. No, I did count my mana correctly. Okay, great. We have a Forsaken Monument. This mono brown deck is fucking awesome. I am like so really mad at you. I will punch you in the teeth. Alright, so the best draw that we can get is Nissa. Cold Dracon says, thanks, I was looking up N++. M++ is a platformer that gives you really strict control over your memory management. All right, we have a Yolos. So we should absolutely activate for Nissa.
Hone your prowess.
Fucking sucks. I'm Golos. YOLO. Brown deck is great. John Bucket says Clay is still a sick as hell dev studio. They did Invisible Ink and Mark of the Ninja. Clay is one of the companies I admire most. Just period. They have a unique art style aesthetic. And I'm not going to say that when a company has a non-unique art style, then shame on them. But, you know, there's a there is the gamey 3D look that's very Blizzard and very League of Legends. It's just like your classic gamey style of, you know, we exaggerate the proportions in this particular way. I truly think that there's literally a 0% chance we win this game, and that's totally fine.
Keep an open mind.
Ooh, where were you last turn? But like Clay has their own art style. They do not do a ton of repetition in their gameplay design. They actually are designing lots of different games. They also work on their games for long periods of time and continue to improve and improve and improve and improve and improve and improve them. They're just amazing. Supergiant, one of the development studios I admire most. They have their own art style. They do different games all the time. And they really work on the core gameplay of a lot of games. Coldrakon says, when I was younger, I had a summer temp job where I was basically a seat warmer for a guy who was on tour in Iraq in the army. I had a half-hour meeting each morning, and then no one paid attention to me for the rest of my 4-hour shift. So basically, for a whole summer, I got paid to play N+ for 3.5 hours a day. It's a fond memory. Oh, I love shit like that. Cobalt Kinetics just gifted 5. Cobalt. Get me out of this game, I'm totally fucked! Our opponent can just get more cards, deal with our threats, and clear our board much, much, much easier. I'll play another game or two of this, then I want to switch over to the Azorius Enchantments aggro deck. Cobalt Kinetics gifting us 5. How you doing, Cobalt Kinetics? Doing A+. My God. A+. Oh! Woo! I mean, I think Clay's incredible. This hand seems reasonable. We have access to enough mana to cast everything in our hand, save for a Yasharn, but I think that's the least priority thing. This is a really good 6-mana hand. By the way, I don't know if there's any artists in chat, but is there a name for that really game, like the classic game art style that's like very Blizzard and Riot-ass looking stuff? Riot-ass looking. Alright, well, we will play this. Thoughtseize says we usually call it Blizzard style. I've only ever heard it be called Blizzard style. A Winding Constrictor. know what's going on, so I can set it back. By the way, I'm going to adjust my audio. Someone tell me if this just makes everything terrible. By the way, I Aether Gusted into this because this seems like an extremely efficient way to help guarantee that I can still play Fatal Push. Oh my god, Ghoststalker is here. Crap. Very, very good. Really, really terrible. I'm probably going to Nethroi this guy, and then Nethroi push the next two. I'm not scared of Wildgrowth Walker because I literally have a Fatal Push right here. I'm scared of the draw flexibility type stuffs that is provided by this. Assuming this is correct, because I'd like to get another green source out. Perfect. Actually, literally perfect. My opponent can remove this, but we have plenty of health to exchange. Slightly disappointed about this, but it's fine. Bright Sides, this has been watching for years silently. Welcome to being out in the open. So we want to go ahead and get the green. All right. Get the green. Which allows us to play this. And then Fatal Push the Wildgrowth Walker, alright? Alright. I see no reason not to do this now because fuck him. You and your opponent's name rhyme. Ah, look at y'all. It's Day9 versus Divine. No! Welcome, guys. Hey, everyone. Sorry, I've been swamped with uni work. Always. Always welcome here, my friend. On time. It's just whatever you show up. My name is Day9 and I grew up on land. Golgari Explorer still a thing? I mean, frankly, the adventure package is just always going to be a stable base. Yasharn has vigilance, yes? No, he doesn't. Not a chance. Yeah, I mean, I think drawing one fucking billion is really good. 2, 4, 6, 7. Bang. Bang, bang. Oh! Well, I mean, this is just hilarious. Coco! I love to cast Coco. Well, what can you do about that? Alright, it's time for the pain in Spain. Day9 will shout odd from the top of lung. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Man, Agadim's Awakening with this. What a terrific addition to this deck. Oh, man. Divine is just... this is really clever by Divine. I think this is very, very, very clever. Okay, so... if we block this, they get to draw one card, huh? But if I block these two, then my opponent takes 2 damage. We prevent some. They get to draw 2. Whoosh, whoosh. Whoosh. On average, there is 1.2 cards that are playable in there, and a land. So we would not be surprised if this was a land. Of course, we would not be surprised if this was a spell. Great. And now we can Extinction Event and Scream Odd from the top of Lung. Very good. And now we have enough in the grave to be able to... no, we don't. Yeah, we do. Nice. Very good. Bing bong from your pal, Sean. I rewatched Inside Out on Thanksgiving. I watched Ratatouille and Inside Out. We literally just sat at home and watched Pixar movies. Steven Universe. And I fucking... oh my god. I actually drank way too much on Thanksgiving Day. That's all I did. That's all I did was just like drank a bunch and watch movies. And it was, oh my god, I fucking sobbed. Excuse me. I sobbed so hard while watching those movies, man. Fatal Push is a good one. Aether Gust seems like a good one. Probably the Asharans are not necessarily the thing that we want. Jonathan says getting drunk and crying to pick some movie sounds like a very good sign. Yeah, no, I've been under a lot of stress. So. I don't actually think that this matchup is that difficult for us to win. I think we just stick to really basic early game removal and then overrun them. The Steven Universe is incredible. So good. It's so good. So cheerful and positive. And I recently heard someone articulate something that was... I really liked the articulation of it, which is that there is a certain type of writer that wants to up the emotional stakes to things. So that what they do is they include senseless, emotionally charged things like characters abruptly dying, various forms of like sexual assault on a character, and it's just like, yeah, no, and those horrible things happen to these characters you care about. Don't you feel, you know? And they actually don't do much for me. So the Jade Light is the one that can get the most impact from this, so we ditch that one. Like, George R.R. Martin, I think, is an example of when the death occurs, it's extremely deliberate and, I mean, honestly, it's, like, correct. I'm like, oh, of course, the death of that character caused all these other things to unfold in such a compelling way and so on, you know, but, like, a lot of times I'm watching a show where I don't care about any of the characters. I can X equals 3 this and be in okay shape, huh? I care about none of the characters. Everyone is a jerk. Everyone's making bad decisions. And it's about the hopelessness of their situations. And it's not that I don't like how bad it makes me feel. It's that I literally don't care. I'm like, oh yeah, horrible things happen to that horrible person. Sure. Of course. Alright. What are you gonna do? Well, it seems as though we've found the land necessary to make our deck work. I'm doing this. So I take it you aren't a fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I mean, I actually think that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is amazing. I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Because it's a comedy, right? It's just about the ridiculousness and the insanity of the situation. It's almost surrealist in its presentation. But I mean, like, what I'm talking about is these, like, generic drama shows that are on, you know, like 8 p.m. on a Thursday on TV, and just, like, they show up on Hulu, and I don't know, maybe watch an episode of this thing, maybe the show will be good, and it's just, like, it's a character with a dark past who's mean to all their coworkers, and is super competent at their job, and they always spot everything, but they're really mean, and then their partner dies, and they're really upset, and then the episode ends, and I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go watch cartoons, because the characters are actually, they try to make me care about them. Is this a description of House? It's a description of a shitload of shows. And we die. That package is always very strong. But yeah, like, and I mean, I want to really stress, it's about when you start adding in really severe, traumatic things, like death and fucking child murder and all these. I'm just like, dude. And then I watch cartoons that are really goofy, and they're so much more thoughtful. Like, recently I've seen Gravity Falls, which I loved. I'm currently on Steven Universe, which I adore. And by the way, if you start Steven Universe, I didn't care for it very much until episode, like, 7 or so. And each episode is 11 minutes long. So spend, like, an hour blasting through those, and then you'll really start to sing along to everything that they say in the show. Hilda's incredible. That's on Netflix. It's really nice. And they're just creative and thoughtful, and they approach real human emotions in an authentic and real way. And it's really nice. Have you seen The Good Place? Love The Good Place. Good Place is fantastic. Oh, Coco! Right, Grafdigger's Cage prevents Coco. Get rid of these stupid cards. Like, almost all the shows and content that I've consumed recently that I really like is, they're all cartoons. Yeah, take this, it's a Grafdigger's Cage. Yeah. Yeah! I need to watch The Expanse. I need to completely restart The Expanse and watch it again. Where's the best place to watch Gravity Falls? I watched mine on Hulu. Digital Iliad says, can we agree to stop making historical TV dramas like Rome, Spartacus, Tudors, Borgias, The Great, The Crown, etc.? Yeah, I don't care. I literally couldn't care less. it's like you tune in and someone's like, the costuming, it's so authentic to the period. I'm like, I don't give a shit, man. Give me another cartoon. Just send the cartoons my way, man. So I do this one first to see if we can get another land. Very nice. Show me what you got. Alright, so none of these matter. Get rid of the ooze. Queen. I've planned it all out. Like, even the Peaky Blinders. I liked Peaky Blinders. I watched Peaky Blinders, and in fact, anytime I see something that's about, like, a warning from the fire department, it's like, by the order of the Los Angeles Fire... by order of the Peaky Blinders. Anything that begins with by order of the... It's just... You're only talking to me about Peaky Blinders, I can tell. Alright, I think that we have lost. Oh. No. My opponent has 2/3s, my only weakness. Da 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 da. We have white. Okay. Still looks like we need more green. Yeah. Peaky Blinders as a story is okay. You know, I thought the story was fine. That was like it was reasonable. However, the performances, just the environment, the ambiance, the style of it. After every time I watched Peaky Blinders, I was like, I need to begin smoking and drink whiskey. That's all I wanted to do, was sit in a small room with hard wooden chairs and smoke and drink whiskey. I don't even really know how to smoke. But I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna learn how to do it. Something just happened, huh? I wish to block. By a flat cap, put razor blades in the hat. Yeah, that's fine. Well, Extinction Event is a good card here. Alright, you know, Extinction Event right off the top. Here it comes. Very bad. 2, 4, 5, 6. A shitload. Wait, does Grafdigger's Cage shut off my arrows? Maybe I should have cut the arrows. We got a lot of land.